forget about it, or it's going to cost more. Because that's what I tell these people. I said, look, you give me the story, and you tell me. And if it's different, let me know now, because I have to tell these people and give them the option. So I feel I'm obligated to you to tell you,
that's right.
Hey,
and I
this is the way it is. If it changes, then you have the option to say, hey, forget it, or it's more money.
I'll deal through Howard in this thing, and I'll be very straightforward about it. And, the problem is I have a hard time, when I start pressing these things, not pressing harder than I should sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But, what I've got to know is exactly what you guys have in mind. Exactly. In other words, when, how many. When you say one, does that mean one in a family?
Just one.
One.
Just a check.
Just a check. That's what we were talking about.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that's, and you gotta put his name. You've got to give me his name so that I can.
Yeah.
check
Well,
this
that
out,
would
see
have
if there's
been
any political problems.
That would have been the thing. We would have come up with, the whole thing, everything, that you'd need.
You're not ready for that yet, are you, at this time?
No, we weren't ready for that at
When
this time.
does this guy want to come?
Well, actually, he doesn't know himself.
He doesn't know himself.
How old is he?
This 43.
Well,
See,
I don't know enough about
The
this.
situation changes day to day.
Yeah, I
See, what these guys are doing is they're trying to hedge
Hey,
their bet.
listen,
They
I don't
want to be put in a position
That's
that if all of a sudden tomorrow something goes wrong, they say, hey, they call up and say, Tony.
Let's be honest about it. This poor son of a bitch could be killed tomorrow, and and I could be in and forget about it and so forth. But when I make a fucking deal, I want to make sure that I know exactly what I'm doing, and I can either do something for you or not do something for you. And what I'm saying is, a few investments in my district, a few, it's big to me. To this guy, apparently it's not too big. To a couple banks there, which would get their attention. And an investment in a business where you can legitimately say to me, when I say legitimately, I'm talking about so these bastards up here can't say to me, well, why in 8 years from now, that's possible.
Yeah.
We'd never hear a thing for 8 years. But all at once, some dumb bastard would go start talking 8 years from now about this whole thing and say, Jesus Christ, this happened. Then he, in order to get immunity so he doesn't go to jail, he starts talking and fingering people, and the son of a bitch all falls apart,
Right. Well, that's why I like the idea of helping by investing within your district, which gives you, in other words, if you were to stand up on a floor, I guess, and introduce a bill, all right, saying to keep this guy in his country, at least you've got, what I'm saying is, at least then you've got it back, because if somebody says to you, well, why do you want this guy here? Say, well, it's obvious. I want him here because he's put money into my district.
And not only that, you go one step farther. The people in the district would be very supportive of that, because, once we would go farther. We would make it known that this guy's putting money in the district and providing jobs, you see. We'll play this son of a bitch the whole way, once we see that, if that's the way to play it. Now, I'm going to tell you, honestly, in a week, and I don't know if it'll even take me a week, how difficult this is. I may be able to tell you today. I just happened to talk to this other fellow today, and he may be able to tell me today whether this is possible at all or whether it's impossible. Now, introducing legislation is only legitimate if the guy's in your district, because otherwise you got a real problem. And,
well, that would be no problem to move him into your district.
That's right.
He could buy something there. You're talking about a residence of some sort, right?
I'm talking about, I'm
having
talking
a business
about
commitment.
Well, a business commitment.
A business commitment that makes it imperative for me to help him. Just let me tell you something. I'm sure if there's a lot of things I've done up here with environmental regulations, with all kinds of waivers of laws and regulations, that if it weren't in a district, people would say, well, that son of a bitch, I'm going to tell you something, this guy is, on the take. Well, once they say that, what happens? Then they start going around looking for the goddamn money. So I want to avoid that by having some tie to the district, that's all. That's the secret to the whole
You give
thing.
us your banks what you want the money deposit.
All right. How much money are we talking about?
Well, that's
Whatever
you
you
tell
want.
me. What do you
Well, let me
think?
find out what is a a reasonable figure that will get their attention, because there's a couple banks that have really done me some favors in the past that I'd like to put some money in, and one guy in particular, that savings bank, solid, all three of them, of course, solid banks. And maybe I only want to go to one. I don't know. I have to think about this a little bit, and I'll get back to you with what I think would make an impression. You know, I'm not going to go out of hand, but I want to let these guys know that that I did it, and they'll be appreciative of it, and it'll be helpful to me.
I understand one hand washes
Yeah,
the other,
that's right,
and you're
that's
trying
right.
to help them out. You just
Now-
let me know. We're going to be here all week, and you think about it. Let me know
All right,
about
let me
these
go
things.
back now to the other thing. Let me go to the investment of the district. Now, what are you talking about there as far as money goes? What kind of money do you have available to you to invest in the district?
Well, I hate to just talk numbers, because the numbers.
Well,
I can talk
all right.
astronomical numbers, and you don't know me,
Yeah.
so I give you a number. You
Well,
may
that's
say,
why-
"Well, this guy's bullshitting
Tony,
me."
that's why.
That's why I'm trying to.
Tony, that's why I want to do business before. You know, I want to do business. I want to see what the hell we're talking about. We're talking about. He's checked you out. He says you're absolutely
Well,
right.
he
He's giving me
knows.
some figures that, you know, we deal in billions of dollars, and so, you know, when you're talking about millions, it really. But what I'm interested in is employment